The number 2 ranked Grandview Vikings advancing to the Final Four of the NAIA Football Championship Series. Semifinals coming up on Saturday after downing Northwestern College of Orange City by a final of 17-0. And got to start with the defense, Joe. A shutout. That's something special in the playoffs.
Yeah, it really is. And again, I know we've talked about it a little bit, Jeff, on one of these shows before of some of the we've had a fair amount of those shutouts, and you certainly don't expect those to happen in a playoff game, especially in a third round playoff game. But our defense has been a pretty motivated group all year long, and and that's because we have great leadership with some guys on that side of the ball, and namely Aaron Brown is a guy that just really jumps out to me, and Davier. Kind of the little, I don't know, vocal's the right way to put it, but just kind of expecting a lot out of the rest of the guys, and they talk about those things a lot, and it's important to them, and it's translating out to the field. And they could have got on the board early, as they went right after we went down and scored the opening touchdown. They drove it right down on us. We helped them, with a face mask penalty. Then they hit a big pass, and then they went for it on fourth down, down inside our 10-yard line, and again, our guys were just, they were going to refuse that, and we did. They had kind of a goofy quarterback sneak looking play, and I'll be honest, I don't know that I studied enough film if they did that earlier in the year. Maybe they did, but our guys were locked in, and they caught them and made a heck of a play, and they really didn't threaten us too much more than that the rest of the day. And again, our guys are just playing at a, they're playing at a pretty high level right now on that side of the ball, a step ahead, if you will, and and it's showing because. That team is still they scored 32 points in a game the week before against a good playoff team, and they started to score some points down the stretch kind of once they figured out what their identity was. So impressive would probably be an understatement to do that in a third round playoff game. So just real proud of them, and we're going to have to. I don't know that that's in the cards this week with who we got, but certainly wouldn't put anything past our guys either.
Staying on the defensive theme, there were a couple of guys I thought that were that deserved player of the game honors defensively, but you mentioned Aaron Brown. I thought Aaron's sack in the second half was a huge play.
Yeah, it really was, because they were starting to move it a little bit and kind of work towards our territory, and I want to say it was at least maybe a loss of 12 or somewhere in that neighborhood, and backed them up and made them kind of make that decision that they had to punt it. Whereas as the closer you get to midfield and you have more manageable down and distances, you kind of think about going for it, and it kind of took that out of the equation. And he's really done that all year, and he's kind of an unsung hero. The guy's played a lot of football for us. I mean, he played a lot of snaps in the 2021 national championship game as a true freshman. He's just been a warrior. Steady leader. I don't know that he's ever missed a practice since he's been here, and that's just him. He plays for all the right reasons, and the guys respect him across the board. And he's a junkyard dog. I mean that's what he is. He just keeps coming at you and keeps playing. And it was good to see him, earn some recognition, well-earned recognition, because those guys up front do a lot that people probably don't really see. It is a man's world in there. He's taking double teams, and it's tough. It's tough, and you never hear him complaining. He just keeps producing, and just couldn't be more proud of him. I obviously work very closely with the defensive line. I meet with them every day, so I got a good relationship with all those guys, and it's just a real joy to see him having success.
Okay, we look forward to the game on Saturday, 1:30 at MediaCom Stadium against another GPAC team for a second straight week. The Morningside Mustangs, they went on the road and won a game at Montana Western 31-24. Morningside, a perennial power in that conference. They're a traditional playoff team. What do you see out of the Mustangs this year?
A lot of the same. They're extremely well coached on both sides of the football, and like you mentioned, Jeff, it's just a very rich tradition program, and as I gave our guys, we had a team meeting last night, kind of gave them a snapshot of who Morningside is. all those things. And, one of the first things I put up there is, I'm pretty sure they've been in 5 national championship games. Those are all in pretty recent memory. They've won 3 of them. So they know how to win, and they're used to playing in these big games. Every time we've played them, this is the 4th time we've played them, 3 of them are in the semifinals, and, 1 of them was in the national championship game. So, again, just a ton of respect for them and how they do it. Very explosive offensively. That's always been it's always been a very quarterback dominant or quarterback friendly system. From the outside looking in there, they put up a lot of numbers through the air. The year we played them in the national championship game, there was no exception there, but they had such a great ground game with it, so they were really tough to defend. And I see a lot of the same similarities this year with with what they have offensively, and they've won 12 games in a row. So they lost a heartbreaker earlier in the year. They came up short on the goal line against Benedictine, or 2 or 3 yard line, I think it was, to end the game, and it was a fast and furious flurry of them coming back. I don't know off the top of my head, but I want to say they might even have been down 28-3 at one point in that game, and battled back to get it to, I think it was 48-45 is how they lost, but they had the ball on the 3 yard line to score and beat them. So just an incredible offense that they have, and it's a great system, and they do it right. It's like plug and play. Like, all their players look the same every year, and big physical offensive lineman, a great quarterback. They always got speed at receiver. They always got good backs, a good tight end. And then over on defense, they're still doing a lot of the same things that we remember them doing in 2021. They kind of sit there and just play football, similar to kind of what Northwestern did. They play fundamental football. They're physical. They're great tacklers, but they have the ability to heat you up and make you make quick decisions. So again, just a ton of respect for them, and we've got to play. We've got to play. I don't want to say mistake free, because those are always going to happen. But I thought we played as about a complete a game as we could last Saturday. As far as I talked to our guys a lot about just we got to win the moments. The 3rd and shorts, the 4th and shorts, if there's a field goal to be made, we've got to make it. If we're backed up, we need to get a good punt off. If they get a good punt on us, we've got to gain some yards, find those hidden yardage, win all those kinds of situations. We did that Saturday, and this Saturday is going to be no exception, because the margin of error in these games, when you're playing against the elite, we're down to the Final Four. Everybody's pretty darn good. Those margins are very, very thin, and you've got to be on the winning edge of all those in all those key moments, and that'll be the difference of the game. And of course, as always, just taking care of the football, not beating yourself with penalties, those types of things.
One question about their quarterback, Zach Chevalier, not sure how to pronounce his name, but he threw for 4 touchdowns and over 300 yards. I mean, he's going to sling it looks like. Yeah.
Like I said, it seems to be a quarterback. They've had countless All-Americans, countless players of the year at that position. They really know how to develop them. Obviously, they've been coached really well, for these kids to put up those kinds of numbers. And like I said, it's almost like plug and play. Whoever they put in there just kind of seems to do the same things, and they certainly got a belief in what they're doing, and it really shows. And they clip and they go at a high level. I mean, it's fast, it's furious, and they attack you, and you've got to do your best to try and limit those explosive plays that they have. I look back at the national title game. We gave up a number of those, 12-yard runs and 16-yard pass plus. Those are, kind of what we call explosives, and you just got to really limit those. And, I think that's how you just kind of hang around in these kinds of games, and then, you hope you just give yourself a chance to, to win the football game in the 4th quarter, because that's what it should be, at this time of year in the Final Four. Everybody should be playing at their best, and, Saturday's going to be no exception, and should be a great atmosphere. I thought last Saturday was playing another Iowa team, probably one of the neater atmospheres I've coached in, and, every time we play Morningside, it's a really good atmosphere. I remember we went over there in 2019, my first year as a head coach, and that's about as a big time atmosphere as we've played in. So again, very proud tradition. Grandview, we're still somewhat new, still trying to build that tradition. But I know our folks will show up and show out too, and be there to support us, and as they should. These kids deserve it, and what an opportunity we have to play another really good football team, to go to our third national championship game in a really relatively short amount of time that this program's been around.
I look forward to it, Joe.
Thanks, Jeff.
Grandview hosting Morningside, national semifinal Saturday, 1:30 at MediaCom Stadium.